Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. This is Natural Soap Man. So listen guys, if you were wondering if the Cedar Citrus Deodorant by Dr. Squatch was good or not really, well check it out. In this video, I'm actually going to be reviewing and sharing some of my thoughts and opinions on the Cedar Citrus Deodorant by Dr. Squatch. All right, my friends, let's get into our video. And because I don't necessarily review deodorants as often as soaps, obviously, I figured the best way to do this is to divide up our video into different segments, each segment covering a different aspect of the deodorant, right? Does that make sense? Cool. So let's start off with our appearance of our soap, right? Upon initially looking at the soap, it's gonna have this very dark, amber-like color. Reminds me of like old medicine bottles. You're also gonna have like your logo, your marketing mumbo jumbo, the ingredients on the back, right? Now at the very top of our deodorant, the cap screws on, screws off, and the very bottom has like this twisting mechanism that will push the deodorant up. At the very top, you're gonna have like this clear little plastic thing, just pop it off, and there's your deodorant. Now the deodorant's gonna have this white color, and upon initially looking at it, it's gonna have like this, looks dry, but in reality, it's actually very pasty. And it's one of my gripes with these deodorants is every time you use it, it does give you this very pasty, sticky sensation, and you never really get used to it. It always takes about 5 to 10 seconds to kind of like rub it in and get used to it, right? Very pasty though. All right, sweet deal, guys. That's what our deodorant is gonna look like. Let's move on to the next part and go over a couple minor details. All right, my friends, let's move along and start talking about our ingredients. I'm gonna go ahead and post those on the screen for you guys so you can go ahead and check them out. Now, I will say this forefront, I am not as familiar with the ingredients in natural deodorants. What I'm trying to say is I don't necessarily fully understand what natural deodorant is supposed to look like. I don't come across as many for obvious reasons. However, what I will say is that upon looking at ingredients, nothing seems to be toxic or harmful. Especially with the absence of things like aluminums or parabens and things like that, of that nature. So I think you're safe here, and there's a clear advantage or step up when we start comparing to things like commercial deodorants. So if you're looking at that and curious about that, there is clearly a step up for you. So, all right, friends, a couple minor details, things you should know. First, this deodorant is going to cost you $12. Unless you have it on the description, then it's $11, so you save $1 there. Also, I'm sure if you're not a subscriber, you got to pay shipping handling. If you are a subscriber, you don't have to pay shipping handling, so just something to keep in mind. Also, our deodorant is going to weigh 2.65 ounces. This is a fairly average for a deodorant. Some can be as small as 2.2. I've seen some get like 3.2, so it seems to be right in the middle. So not a bad size. Could be a little bit bigger, right? Or it could be a little cheaper. All right, my friends, let's go ahead and talk about how our deodorant smells. Now, the Cedar Citrus is supposed to have this orange cedar infused scent. It's going to have a bit of a deeper, more bold scent. Not as fresh as things like the Fresh Falls or the Birchwood Breeze, or even their Alpine Sage. It's definitely a little bit more flat, if you will. Now, I'm gonna get straight to the point though, guys. Me personally, I really didn't like this one. I didn't like the scent overall. Initially when I got it, it made me think of orange peelings, which I was like, oh, this is fantastic, right? But as I used it, and I guess I became more adjusted, more acclimated to the scent, I just found myself saying, wow, it's very off-putting. Just not a pleasant smell, man. I don't know what it is about it. I would even go as far as saying it had like this chemical-like vibe to it. I just was not feeling it. It just did not click with me, and was just so disappointing because I'm a big fan of the Cedar Citrus soap, so I just naturally thought I was gonna really like this one. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and just found myself not liking this one, and just disappointed, honestly, in the end. So, but with that being said, though, let's move on and talk about the performance. All right, guys, let's move on to the final segment of our video, and let's go talk about the performance. Now, this is probably also the most important part of our video, so if you're still here watching, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But this also is the trickiest because obviously everyone's different. We all sweat differently. We all do different professions. All have different BOs, right? Etc. 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 I can only really speak on my personal experience here. And then also, to make it even a little more hectic, right? We also have two different groups of people. You have your newcomers and our veterans, right? So I'm gonna try my best. Bear with me. Now, for my newcomers, if you never experienced or never used natural deodorants before, just know you're not gonna roll up in here and everything is gonna be the same. There's gonna be an adjustment period for you. I've read on different accounts that adjustment period might take roughly 3 weeks to about a month, where you might experience that onion-like smell you hear about. So you may need to carry it around and reapply. But I remember when I first started using these deodorants, I always felt confident saying it lasts you about 5 to 6 hours. And it was one of the first deodorants, natural deodorants at least, that actually worked for me. I will say that. And for my veterans, I don't even think about it now. Like I said, I've been using these deodorants for roughly a little bit over a year and a half now, since they were first released. And yeah, like I said, I put it on, I don't even think about it. It could be all day. I could work a double, doesn't matter. I don't experience BO. The only thing I will say is that you're gonna sweat, right? It's not an antiperspirant, it's a deodorant. So you will experience a lot of dampness. So do be ready. If you're a sweater, just keep that in mind. You're going to sweat a lot. You might need an undershirt or something along those lines. Now, I said before, these deodorants will leave like this little weird sticky sensation on the armpit. You never get used to that. At least I haven't. It always takes like 5 to 10 seconds to like adjust to it. So weird. Now, specifically talking about this Cedar Citrus, this one was strange to me because I want to make it clear this was not terrible, right? But I noticed, and I think it's because of the smell, but I found that it didn't work quite as well as some of the others. And I really do think that might be because of the scent. The scent wasn't necessarily pleasant, and it was actually the first time in quite some time actually where I was actually self-conscious about the deodorant, right? I noticed like after work, I noticed a little bit of my BO was breaking through, right? I never, to the point where it was like consistently, it was noticeable, and I would even ask myself, man, do I need to bring another deodorant? Like bring it with me? Like especially on days like where I'm working doubles, stuff like that. It was just noticeable. Now, I don't necessarily know, that could be the scent, my body not agreeing with it, or what the case may be, but that was something I noticed fairly early on actually. But like I said, that could be different from person to person. It may work wonders for you, but just for me, not as well. Am I saying it's terrible? No. Is it as good as the others? No. But there you have it, my friends. That is my review of the Cedar Citrus Deodorant by Dr. Squatch. Now, ultimately, this is a pass for me. I don't necessarily recommend buying this one. I would say if you're gonna spend $11, $12, I would recommend buying some of the other ones. The other ones I think are ultimately just better by these guys. Not quite sure why the Cedar Citrus just didn't really click with me, but I didn't like the smell. I think it performed actually a little bit worse than the others. So ultimately, this one's a pass, and I don't recommend this one. Well, all right, my friends. Again, this is Natural Soap Man with another review. I hope to see you in one of my future videos or one of my futures from the past. Either way, guys, till then, you guys take care and be safe. And as always, stay natural.